The state Supreme Court kicked a local judge off the bench, but that has not stopped Sylvia James from seeking re-election to the top job in Inkster's district court.
7 Action News investigator Bill Proctor broke the story originally that led to the judge's downfall. And, well, Bill, even if she wins this November, James may not be allowed back on the bench.
That's right, and I'll explain how that could happen in just a moment. But what has some of James's longtime supporters riled up is that Governor Rick Snyder appointed James's opponent, Sylvia Johnson, to the bench just weeks before the November election. They say that's just not fair.
We would like an explanation as to the timing of this appointment when the voters of Inkster clearly decided on which two candidates they wanted to vote on.
Sylvia James beat out her opponent with 814 votes in the August primary compared to Sylvia Johnson's 615. And James won despite 2 state court audits, a Judicial Tenure Commission investigation, and the state Supreme Court's decision to remove James from the bench this summer after 23 years of service. That's what caused the governor to appoint Johnson as interim chief judge. Local ministers, however, are united in saying that they are
offended by what we perceive as Governor Rick Snyder's attempt to interfere with the electoral voting process.
James was in the audience that October 11th when the ministers spoke out, but she chose to walk away from our camera and the opportunity to speak on her own behalf. But lots of her supporters are clearly committed.
Sylvia's been there for a while. Even though with all her ups and downs, she's been a part of this community for a while, so I'm still leaning towards Sylvia.
About Sylvia James, I think she's a good person, and I think she should be reelected.
Around the city of Inkster, it's the battle of campaign signs, but even here, candidate Johnson believes that James is out of bounds.
The former judge has used the signs that she had up from the primary. They still indicate that she's judged. They should not.
Sylvia Johnson is on leave from her job as an assistant Wayne County prosecutor. She's been on the bench here in the 22nd District Court for a few weeks since her appointment. She says she wants to remain to restore integrity to Inkster's court.
I am committed to making this court the most efficient, professional, honest, hardworking place that the people of this city can be proud of and that they deserve.
A Johnson supporter was more blunt in her criticism of James.
She lays down the law, but she doesn't abide by the law.
But if Inkster voters decide in the November election to put James back on the bench, it may not matter. The Attorney Grievance Commission has filed a complaint against James that could result in having her law license revoked, making her ineligible to be a judge. That grievance is based on the same investigations and audits that led the state Supreme Court to remove her from the bench. James has chosen a defense attorney for the AGC case, and in the coming weeks, we expect to see a public hearing that could result in the temporary suspension of her law license, or her license could be revoked. Either way, Sylvia James couldn't take the bench until or if her license to practice law is restored. Bill Proctor, 7 Action News.